The townhouse felt temporary. That was the first thing Elena noticed. It was clean, predictable. Narrow hallways, identical doors, thin walls that carried the neighbors' voices in muffled waves. Nothing creaked without reason. Nothing shifted unless someone moved it. They had signed a 1-year lease. Mark said that was long enough to decide what came next. The first week passed quietly. No strange doors. No extended hallways. No photographs from the future. Elena almost allowed herself to relax. On the 8th night, she woke at 2:14 a.m. Her eyes opened with the same certainty as before. No alarm. No sound. Just awareness. She lay still. The room was dark, but not wrong. No stretched ceiling. No altered proportions. She exhaled slowly. Then she noticed the bedroom door. It was closed. They never closed it. Mark preferred it open so he could hear the children if they needed anything. She sat up. "Mark," she whispered. He did not stir. She reached for the lamp. It was not there. Her hand met empty air where the nightstand should have been. Her breath shortened. She leaned farther to the side. The nightstand stood 2 feet away from the bed. Not against it. Moved. She slid from under the covers and stood. The carpet felt normal. The walls were solid drywall, not wood paneling. She opened the bedroom door. The hallway was narrow and unchanged. For doors, white trim, a smoke detector near the ceiling. 32 steps from their old house flashed through her mind. She counted instinctively. 1, 2, 3. The hallway ended at 11. She stopped. The bathroom door was closed. A thin line of light glowed beneath it. "Elena," came a small voice. Not from inside the bathroom. From behind her. She turned. The hallway was still 11 steps long. The bedroom door behind her remained open. No one stood there. "Elena." This time the voice came from inside her head. It did not echo. It did not vibrate the air. It pressed. She stepped toward the bathroom and opened the door quickly. Darkness. The light switch was off. She stood there shaking. In the mirror above the sink, she saw her reflection. Tired eyes, pale skin, and behind her, in the reflection only, the hallway extended far beyond its real length. She did not turn around. She stared at the glass. The reflected hallway was wooden, narrow, bending out of sight. A frame hung on its wall. She closed her eyes. When she opened them again, the mirror showed only the small townhouse hall. She slept with the lamp on. In the morning, Mark was irritated. "You're exhausted again," he said. "You're bringing it with you." "With me?" "The house." She stared at him. "We left it." "Did we?" The question was quiet. Too quiet. He rubbed his forehead. "Sorry. I just mean we're safe. There's nothing here." The children came downstairs for breakfast. Connor paused near the kitchen counter. "Mom, where's the pantry?" Elena froze. The townhouse had no pantry. Only upper cabinets. "What pantry?" she asked carefully. "The tall one," he said. "Next to the fridge." Lily frowned. "Connor, we don't have one." He looked confused. "Yes, we do. It's right." He stopped mid-sentence. He blinked twice, then shrugged. "Never mind." Elena gripped the counter until her knuckles whitened. That afternoon, she measured the living room wall. 12 feet, 3 inches. She wrote it down. At 6 p.m., she measured it again. 12 feet, 5 inches. She measured a third time. 12 feet, 3 inches. She sat on the floor and pressed her palms flat against the drywall. "It's not here," she whispered. The air felt still, patient. That night, she did not sleep. At 2:14 a.m., the change did not wait for her to wake. The sound came first. A deep wooden shift. Not drywall, not pipes. Wood settling under weight. The townhouse ceiling rippled, just slightly, like fabric tugged from above. Mark bolted upright. "You hear that?" "Yes." The sound moved along the length of the house. Shift. Pause. Shift. The children began crying in their rooms. Elena ran into the hallway. It was no longer 11 steps long. It was longer. Not the old house hallway. Something in between. Drywall on one side. Wood paneling on the other. Half townhouse. Half Alder Ridge. Connor's bedroom door stood at the far end, farther than it should have been. "Mom," he called. She ran toward him. The floor felt uneven beneath her feet. The walls narrowed. Behind her, Mark shouted her name. When she reached Connor's door, she grabbed the handle. It was smooth. No knob. Just wood. Like the door that had appeared in the old living room. "No," she whispered. She pounded against it. "Connor." The hallway stretched again. Longer. The ceiling lifted. The drywall peeled back like damp paper, revealing old beams underneath. Elena. The whisper filled the space. Not cruel, not kind, simply insistent. Stay. The far wall dissolved into darkness. Not empty space. A corridor. The same narrow wooden corridor she had seen in the mirror. At the end of it stood the photograph. The one dated 5 years from now. Only this time the image was clearer. The family stood in front of the widened house. Connor and Lily looked older. Mark stood rigid, a blank expression on his face. Elena looked calm, resigned. The house behind them loomed larger, its windows multiplied. Alive. She stepped backward. The hallway shortened abruptly. Connor's bedroom door reappeared as it should be, a normal knob beneath her hand. She twisted it. Connor stood inside, crying. The room was intact. Townhouse walls. Thin carpet. Mark reached them seconds later. The hallway was 11 steps long again. Drywall on both sides. The ceiling flat. No beams exposed. He stared at Elena. You saw it too, she said. Mark did not answer immediately. He looked down the hallway, measured it with his eyes. It's stress, he said finally. It followed us. No, it did. Mark stepped closer. His voice lowered. Elena, what if we never left? The words landed heavily. She shook her head. We packed. We drove. We signed a lease. Did we? He looked genuinely uncertain. She felt the ground shift beneath her thoughts. Later, after the children fell asleep, Elena went to the front door. She opened it. The street outside was quiet. Row houses. Parked cars. A dim street lamp. Normal. She stepped onto the sidewalk. The air was cool. She turned to look back at their townhouse. It was narrower than before. Subtly. Compressed. As if pressed from both sides. She blinked. It looked normal again. From somewhere inside, she heard the wooden creak. Not drywall. Not plumbing. Wood. She stepped back inside slowly. At 2:14 a.m. the next night, she did not wake. Mark did. He sat upright in bed and listened. The hallway beyond their door stretched long and wooden. At the end of it stood a door without a handle. And beneath that door, a thin line of warm light. He rose quietly. He walked toward it, each step absorbed by wood. As he approached, he noticed something carved faintly into the surface. A date. 5 years from now. He reached for where the handle should be. The wood felt warm, breathing. Behind him, far down the corridor, Elena's voice echoed faintly. Mark. The hallway shortened. He blinked. He was standing beside the bed. The bedroom door open. The townhouse hallway 11 steps long. Elena asleep beside him. Mark lay down slowly. He did not wake her. He stared at the ceiling. And for the first time, he wondered whether the house was rearranging space. Or rearranging them. Elena stopped measuring the walls. Mark stopped arguing. The children stopped mentioning things that did not belong. Silence became their strategy. If the house fed on attention, they would starve it. For 3 days, nothing shifted. The hallway remained 11 steps. The kitchen cabinets stayed aligned. The front door opened to the same narrow street with the same row of townhouses pressed shoulder to shoulder. Elena almost believed they had won. On the 4th morning, Connor asked a question at breakfast. Are we staying this time? Elena's hand paused over the coffee mug. What do you mean? He shrugged, but his eyes were too serious for his age. We always say it's temporary. Mark looked at Elena. We've moved once, he said gently. Connor did not argue, but he did not look convinced. That night, Elena dreamed of the wooden corridor again. Only this time she did not wake at 2:14. She walked. The corridor was quiet. No whispering. No shifting beams. The wood was smooth beneath her bare feet. At the end stood the door with no handle. The date carved into it was no longer 5 years away. It was today's date. She reached out. The wood pulsed faintly. Stay, the voice said again. Not demanding. Inviting. She woke with a start. Sunlight filtered through the townhouse curtains. 7:32 a.m. She exhaled. Just a dream. She rose and stepped into the hallway. It was longer. Not dramatically. Just 2 extra steps. She counted twice. 13. Mark stood at the far end, staring at the wall. Elena, he said quietly. She walked toward him. The drywall looked normal, painted white. But beneath the paint, faint vertical lines pressed outward, like beams waiting beneath the surface. She placed her palm against the wall. It felt warmer than the rest. As she watched, the vertical line deepened slightly, not breaking through, just reminding her it was there. Mark's voice was steady, but thin. I think it's not following us. She swallowed. What then? I think it's finishing. The words settled between them. That afternoon, The children were at school when the shift began in full. No warning creak. No slow stretch. The living room wall bowed inward, then outward, like breath drawn too deeply. The ceiling lifted. Drywall peeled in long curling strips, exposing dark beams underneath. The townhouse windows multiplied. 1 became 2. 2 became 4. Elena stepped back toward the kitchen. The hallway extended behind her, wooden now, fully formed. Not half townhouse. Not half Alder Ridge. Complete. The corridor was no longer threatening. It was stable. Finished. At its end, the door with no handle stood open. Soft golden light spilled through. Mark stood beside her, strangely calm. "It wants completion," he said. "Completion of what?" He did not answer. Instead, he walked toward the corridor. "Mark." He paused but did not turn. "We keep running," he said. "Every move. Every plan. Temporary. 1-year leases. 5-year projections. We never settle." Elena's chest tightened. "This is not about real estate." "No," he agreed softly. "It's about us." The corridor seemed to hum. Not sinister. Patient. Elena's mind replayed the photograph. 5 years from now. Their faces still. Not frightened. Still. "What happens if we walk through?" she asked. "I think," Mark said carefully, "we stop rearranging." She understood then. The house did not feed on fear. It fed on instability. On indecision. On futures that refused to root. It grew where they hesitated. It widened when they avoided permanence. Every temporary choice stretched it further. Every plan, without commitment, gave it another room. The door at the end of the corridor widened slightly. Inside, she could see the living room from the photograph. Not identical. Evolved. The windows taller. The walls expanded outward, confident. Connor and Lily's laughter echoed faintly from somewhere beyond. Not distressed. Happy. Elena stepped forward. The wood beneath her feet felt steady. Not shifting. Not testing. She reached the doorway. There was no threshold to step over. No barrier. Just space. "Stay," the voice whispered one final time. Not to trap. To anchor. She looked back. Behind them, the townhouse still existed. Drywall hanging in strips. Ceiling partially peeled. Half-formed. Unfinished. A structure waiting to decide what it would be. Mark joined her at the doorway. "Are we choosing it?" she asked quietly. "Or is it choosing us?" He met her eyes. "Does it matter?" For the first time since Alder Ridge, she felt something settle inside her. Not fear. Not resistance. Acceptance. She stepped forward. The corridor dissolved. The townhouse vanished. Light shifted. The living room stood complete around them. Spacious. Solid. Windows clear and fixed. No rippling walls. No bending ceilings. Connor ran past them, older now, laughing as Lily followed. They did not seem surprised. They did not ask questions. They simply existed there. Elena turned slowly. The house felt still. Not watching. Not breathing. Resting. She walked to the hallway. Counted. 1, 2, 3, 11 steps. Exactly. No more. No less. Mark stood beside her. "We're not leaving," he said. It was not a question. "No," she replied. That night, at 2:14 a.m., no one woke. There was no shifting wood. No whispering voice. No door with a carved date. The house remained fixed. 5 years later, a photograph sat framed on the mantel. The family stood in front of the house. Connor taller. Lily smiling confidently. Mark steady. Elena calm. The house behind them wide and certain. In the corner of the photograph, barely visible, a faint vertical line ran along the edge of the frame. Not growing. Not pressing outward. Just there. Waiting. Because houses do not stop rearranging. They simply wait for the next family who cannot decide where they belong.